Now, I'm not here to demonize anyone, but we need to shine a light on these tactics so you can recognize them and protect yourself. Is this really happening? Gaslighting. You're not crazy. If someone constantly makes you doubt your reality, they're manipulating you, not helping you. It's a form of manipulation that twists reality and makes you doubt your own memories. They might say, "You're imagining things," or "That never happened." Over time, this erodes your self-confidence and makes you dependent on their version of events. Emma often told her partner Jack how she felt neglected when he ignored her during dinner. Jack would reply, "You're imagining things. I wasn't on my phone all night, you just want to argue." Over time, Emma began doubting her reality and wondering if she was being too sensitive. Gaslighting involves distorting reality to make the victim doubt their memories, perceptions, or sanity. The manipulator denies events, rewrites the narrative, or insists the victim is overreacting. The burden of their emotions. If someone makes you feel bad for protecting your boundaries, they don't respect you, they control you. Let's talk about guilt trips. We've all been on the receiving end of them. It's when someone makes you responsible for their emotions. They hope you'll make them feel better, even at your own expense. When Sarah declined helping her friend move because of work obligations, her friend retorted, "Wow, I thought you were a good friend. Remember when I helped you last year?" Feeling guilty, Sarah cancelled her plans to assist. Manipulators use guilt as a weapon, making the victim feel responsible for their unhappiness or failures. This creates a dynamic where the victim feels obliged to meet the manipulator's demands. Living in a constant state of dread. Fear. Fear is a manipulator's leash. Don't let it control your choices. Tom's boss frequently warned, "If you can't meet deadlines like this, I'll have no choice but to replace you." Even though Tom worked late nights to meet expectations, his boss continued to use this tactic to keep him under constant pressure. Fear-stoking involves intimidating the victim or threatening negative outcomes to control their actions. The manipulator fosters dependency by creating anxiety about what will happen if they don't comply. It's a powerful motivator, and manipulators know how to exploit it. They use fear to control your actions and keep you in line. They might threaten you with negative consequences, plant seeds of doubt, or create a climate of anxiety where you're constantly on edge. Think about a boss who constantly threatens to fire you if you don't meet impossible deadlines, or a partner who uses ultimatums to get their way. This is fear-mongering in action. It creates a toxic environment where you're always walking on eggshells, afraid to speak up or assert yourself. Here's the thing. Healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, and open communication, not fear. If someone is constantly using fear to control you, that's a major red flag. You deserve to feel safe and secure in your relationships, not terrified of the consequences of disagreeing or setting boundaries. Not all affection is love. Manipulators give affection to take control. When Mia met a new romantic partner, he inundated her with compliments, gifts, and grand promises. Within weeks, he asked her to move in and questioned her loyalty when she hesitated, saying, "If you really loved me, you wouldn't need time to decide." Manipulators shower excessive attention and affection to quickly build trust and dependence. Once the victim is emotionally invested, the manipulator uses this bond to control them. Now, this one might sound counterintuitive, but love bombing is a manipulation tactic. It's about showering you with excessive attention, affection, and gifts, especially early in a relationship. On the surface, it might seem flattering, even romantic, but beneath the surface, it's a way to quickly establish control and dependence. Think about it. You're swept off your feet, showered with compliments, told you're their soulmate after just a few dates. It's intense, it's intoxicating, and it's designed to cloud your judgment. The manipulator uses this intense period of love to bind you to them, making it harder to see their true intentions. Once they feel they have you hooked, the love bombing often stops abruptly. They might withdraw affection, become critical, or start making demands. And because you're already emotionally invested, you're more likely to tolerate their bad behavior, hoping to get back to that initial honeymoon phase. Always the injured party. A constant victim isn't seeking help, they're seeking control. After missing multiple deadlines at work, Lily's co-worker said, "I'm just so overwhelmed with my personal life right now, I can't handle everything on my own." She guilted Lily into covering for her without addressing her repeated negligence. This tactic involves manipulators positioning themselves as the victim to evoke sympathy and deflect blame. This puts the actual victim in a position of guilt or responsibility. This tactic is all about shifting blame and avoiding responsibility. The manipulator portrays themselves as the victim, no matter the situation. They might exaggerate their own struggles, minimize your feelings, or twist events to make themselves look blameless. Let me give you an example. Imagine you confront a coworker about a missed deadline. Instead of taking accountability, they launch into a story about how stressed they are, how much they have going on, and how they're feeling overwhelmed. They might even shed a few tears for good measure. The goal here is to evoke your sympathy and make you feel bad for even bringing up the issue. You might even find yourself comforting them, apologizing for adding to their stress, when in reality they were the one who dropped the ball. Remember, taking responsibility for your actions is a sign of maturity and integrity. When someone constantly plays the victim, it's a way to avoid accountability and manipulate you into feeling sorry for them. Chipping away at your confidence. Anyone who laughs at your pain doesn't deserve your trust. During a group discussion, Mark's friend joked, "Mark always has such big ideas, but he never follows through." While everyone laughed, Mark felt humiliated and started doubting his ambitions. Manipulators lower their victim's self-confidence by targeting insecurities or subtly belittling their abilities, often disguised as humor or concern. This tactic is often subtle and insidious. It's about chipping away at your self-esteem, making you doubt your abilities and eroding your confidence. The manipulator might disguise their attacks as jokes, backhanded compliments, or helpful criticism. Imagine you're sharing an idea in a meeting and a coworker says, "Oh, that's cute, but it's never going to work." Or maybe they constantly compare you to others, highlighting your perceived shortcomings. Over time, these seemingly small jabs can take a toll on your self-worth. Here's the thing. Manipulators often target your insecurities. They know what buttons to push to make you feel small, inadequate, or doubtful. They want you to question yourself, your judgment, and your abilities because it makes you easier to control. Remember, your value comes from within. Don't let anyone, especially a manipulator, diminish your worth or make you feel less than. The silent treatment. The silent treatment is not communication, it's control. Withdrawal as punishment, the silent treatment. After arguing about finances, Lisa's partner stopped responding to her texts and avoided her for days. Desperate to fix the relationship, Lisa apologized repeatedly, even though she wasn't at fault. The manipulator uses the silent treatment or emotional withdrawal to control the victim. This creates anxiety and forces the victim to comply in order to restore the relationship. Have you ever been on the receiving end of the silent treatment? It's that icy silence, that deliberate withdrawal of affection and communication that can leave you feeling anxious, confused, and desperate for resolution. This is a classic manipulation tactic designed to control your behavior. The manipulator knows that their silence bothers you, that it creates tension and discomfort. They use it as a weapon to punish you for disagreeing with them, not meeting their needs, or asserting your own boundaries. They might give you the cold shoulder, refuse to answer your calls, or simply disappear for days without explanation. Here's the thing. Healthy communication involves talking things through, even when it's difficult. The silent treatment is a form of emotional manipulation designed to make you feel small, insignificant, and desperate for their attention. Don't reward this behavior. Bringing in a third party. If they compare you to others, they're manipulating you, not helping you. In Triangulation, the manipulator brings a third party into the relationship to create jealousy, competition, or tension. This can destabilize the victim's sense of security. James constantly mentioned how amazing his ex-girlfriend was in conversations with his current partner, Clara. Feeling inadequate, Clara tried to change herself to gain James's approval. Triangulation is a manipulation tactic where the manipulator brings a third party into the equation to create jealousy, insecurity, and competition. This third party could be an ex, a co-worker, a friend, or even a family member. Imagine your partner constantly compares you to their ex, saying things like, "My ex used to love when I did that," or "You're not as adventurous as my ex." Or maybe they confide in a friend about your relationship problems, creating a dynamic where you feel like you're always on the outside looking in. This triangulation is a way to create distance, insecurity, and doubt in your relationship. The manipulator might even use the third party's opinions to validate their own, making you question your own judgment and perceptions. Healthy relationships are built on trust and direct communication between two people, not the involvement of outsiders to create drama or manipulate emotions. The art of indirect control. Passive aggression is a sneaky form of manipulation that can be difficult to pinpoint. Sarcasm and silence are weapons disguised as subtlety. When Adam's colleague was upset about a disagreement, she began submitting reports late, blaming technical issues, and making sarcastic comments like, "I guess I'll just work overtime since no one else cares." This indirect form of manipulation includes sarcasm, procrastination, or deliberate mistakes to convey anger or dissatisfaction without addressing the issue openly. It's about expressing negative feelings indirectly through actions rather than open communication. Think sarcasm, backhanded compliments, procrastination, deliberate mistakes, or that classic line, "I'm fine," when they're clearly not. For example, imagine you ask your partner to help with the dishes and they agree but then forget or do a half-hearted job. Or maybe they make snide comments under their breath instead of addressing the issue directly. Passive aggression is a way to express anger, resentment, or frustration without having to take responsibility for those feelings. Here's the thing. Passive aggression creates a toxic environment of tension and resentment. It prevents genuine connection and resolution because the real issues are never addressed directly. If you're dealing with passive-aggressive behavior, it's important to set boundaries, encourage open communication, and refuse to play the guessing game. Disguised as kindness. Beware of flattery. It often hides a trap. Sophia's co-worker frequently praised her skills, calling her the smartest person in the office. Later, the co-worker asked Sophia to do her work, adding, "You're the only one who can do it perfectly." Sophia agreed, feeling flattered and obligated. Excessive compliments and charm are used to lower the victim's defenses. This tactic builds trust quickly, which the manipulator exploits for personal gain. Now, this one might seem counterintuitive, but excessive flattery and over-affirmation can be used as a manipulation tactic. It's about showering you with compliments, praise, and validation, often exceeding genuine sentiment. On the surface, it feels good to be admired and appreciated, but when flattery is used manipulatively, it's a way to lower your defenses, make you more agreeable, and gain something in return. Imagine a coworker who constantly praises your work, calling you the best in the business, only to later ask for a huge favor or to take on their workload. Or maybe a new acquaintance showers you with compliments and attention, making you feel like the most interesting person in the room, only to later ask for money or take advantage of your kindness. Remember, genuine compliments are heartfelt and specific. When flattery feels excessive, insincere, or self-serving, it's important to be cautious. Don't let your need for validation blind you to someone's ulterior motives. Look, recognizing these emotional manipulation tactics is the first step in protecting yourself. Knowledge is power, and understanding how these tactics work can help you see them for what they are, attempts to control and exploit. Recognizing these tactics and understanding their impact empowers you to protect yourself and build healthier relationships. Remember, you deserve to be in relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, where you feel respected, valued, and safe. You have the right to set boundaries, to say no without guilt, and to walk away from any situation that compromises your well-being. How to protect yourself? Set clear boundaries, seek external perspective, practice assertiveness, trust your instincts, detach when necessary. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, to trust your gut, and to seek support when you need it. You are not alone, and you have the power to create healthy, fulfilling relationships in your life.